Welcome to Senpai, your new home for immersive manga, manhwa, anime-inspired novels, and fantasy audiobook stories. Here, every episode brings you into a world of overpowered heroes, revenge arcs, cultivation journeys, virtual reality games, monsters, magic, and emotional character moments. Whether you enjoy dark fantasy, action, reincarnation, system stories, or epic adventure novels, Senpai is here to turn every chapter into a cinematic listening experience. So relax, put on your headphones, and let the story begin. Subscribe to Senpai and join the journey.
Returning to the studio, Yi began to test the power of the spiritual bomb. Placing it on the workbench, the four mechanical arms at the corners of the table moved automatically in accordance with the programmed procedure, swiftly circling around the crystalline spirit bomb. In the upper right corner, the floating virtual screen displayed the fluctuating numbers of an energy strength test. The energy feedback data showed that the power value of the spiritual bomb was only 10.92, far from the immense power the Green Elf clan merchant described. However, a preliminary test was not enough to prove anything. He immediately took the spiritual bomb and headed to the hazardous material disposal area in Zone D. After passing identity verification to enter the sealed room, he placed the spiritual bomb at the center of the disposal chamber. He then moved to a compartment and observed the bomb's explosive power through the transparent glass. When he pressed the green rune in his hand, the energy shield inside the disposal chamber activated, and the blinding white light momentarily obscured the view. Boom! After a brief shake of the ground, all returned to calm. Following the explosion, the transparent glass in the disposal chamber displayed the energy fluctuation data produced, reading 1228. The power, compared with the initial test, had increased by over 100 times. This discovery immediately excited Yi. At the time of purchase, the Green Elf clan had said that the production of the spiritual bomb was very simple, and with mastery of the technique, a spiritual bomb could be made on the battlefield in a short time using energy barites. In recent years, the power of alien races that have descended kept increasing. Amongst them were not a few unfriendly invasive forces. It was precisely this kind of technology that could be employed in actual combat that he needed. Yi immediately left the disposal chamber to find the Green Elf clan merchant still selling various items at his stall. When he proposed to buy the technology, the Green Elf clan merchant gestured a 1 with his hand, and a sharp voice came out of the translator hanging around his neck. 100,000 Earth coins! You've got to be kidding. In consideration of our relationship, I can give you a 30% discount on the spiritual bomb, but purchasing the technology is a different price. At 100,000 Earth coins, this technology is not expensive for you. I know you have the authority to deal with technology acquisitions under 1 million Earth coins. This sum is completely not a problem for you. How did you know about my budget for technology acquisitions? Chinya's eyes widened suddenly. The Green Elf clan merchant seemed to realize he had misspoken, and immediately chose to remain silent. Have you planted spies within the Human Clan Federation? Yi continued probing. Impossible, my Green Elf clan maintains friendly relations with the Human Clan. This information was purchased from outside. Where did you purchase it? I cannot disclose that. Our Green Elf clan highly values trust. So are you buying this technology or not? Realizing that it was impossible to get useful information out of the Green Elf clan merchant's mouth, Yi stopped asking and nodded. I'll buy it, but the price needs to be lowered. After some haggling, Yi eventually bought the technology to produce spiritual bombs for 70,000 Earth coins. Returning to the studio with the technology sealed in a green information sphere, Yi couldn't wait to start his experimental tests. The manufacturing technique was actually quite simple. One only needed to change the internal structure of the spiritual bomb through psychic inscription and leave behind a line of consciousness as the detonation fuse. But in his testing, Yi quickly encountered an insurmountable problem. He used a consciousness amplifier for the psychic inscription process, but he soon felt dizzy and unable to continue after only reaching halfway. Damn it! Yi suddenly realized a major issue. The Green Elf clan could easily make spiritual bombs, but the Human Clan, with their spiritual strength, may not be capable of doing the same. This technique, while seemingly simple and practical, might only be limited to production along assembly lines in an arsenal. Human Clan warriors could not use psychic inscription in the way the Green Elf clan did to produce a spiritual bomb at any time. Chinya's expression immediately turned bitter. 70,000 Earth coins had already been spent. A refund was out of the question. At this point, he had two choices: use his own savings to make up for the purchasing error, or write a procurement report to his superiors explaining his mistake. Yi decisively opted to use his own savings to cover the shortfall in the procurement funds. He wouldn't trouble his superiors for problems that could be solved with money. His family didn't provide much support in his career, save for one thing: he didn't have to worry about running out of money. Sitting listlessly in his workshop, Qin Yi heaved a sigh of despair. To him, this spiritual bomb technology was utterly useless, far from being as practical as he had hoped. For mass production, the Human Clan Federation had better alternatives. Looking up at the time on the wall, realizing that the resurrection cooldown had ended, he immediately stood up and walked to the gaming pod. It was at this moment that a spark of inspiration suddenly flashed through his mind. The Dark Land, game created by the Moon Eclipse clan, boasted a 100% real-life simulation, and theoretically, the spiritual matter within it should be indistinguishable from reality. The weakness of the human clan's spiritual power wasn't an issue in the game, because taking on a monster form could significantly enhance his spiritual strength. For example, the Bone Fire and Eagle-Headed Demon both have monster forms with several times the spiritual strength of human form. So, could this technology be applied to the game? Let's give it a try. With an idea in mind, Qin Yi decided to log into the game and conduct practical tests. After logging into the game and appearing at the resurrection point of Imperial Tomb Village, Qin Yi checked his balance, which showed he had 232 points of sacrificial power. Of those points were acquired by purchasing with credit coins. He summoned the mall panel and started searching for energy stones. After typing in energy stone in the search bar, the page automatically redirected to the relevant product page. After comparing options, Qin Yi chose the cheapest level 1 energy stone as his test item, priced at 30 points of sacrificial power apiece, and he bought 5 in one go. The purchase was successful, and the items automatically went into his space bag. Taking one out, Qin Yi found a deserted area in Imperial Tomb Village to begin his tests. The inscription process required intense spiritual power, and obviously in human form, he was unable to meet this requirement, so he decisively switched to the eagle-headed demon form. Projecting his consciousness outside of his body, the particle structure within the spirit stone beneath the perception screen became clearly visible. He rearranged it according to the energy particle structure provided by the Green Elf clan. Minutes later, boom! Accompanied by a loud explosion, the unstable structure caused the level 1 spirit stone to shatter instantly, and Qin Yi's world went dark as a game prompt appeared in his mind. Challenger tips. You have entered the resurrection cooldown death state. Challenger tips. For causing damage to the Imperial Tomb Village environment, 13 points of sacrificial power have been deducted automatically. Qin Yi. Staring at the screen as it gradually turned black, Qin Yi's resentment towards the resurrection cooldown setting erupted once again. Having just waited for the cooldown to end, he was forced to log off less than 5 minutes after joining the game. Damn Moon Eclipse clan, crap game! Although he cursed in his heart, Qin Yi was looking forward to his next login even more, because he had confirmed his speculation. The Dark Land game could indeed perfectly simulate reality, and the Green Elf clan's spiritual bomb technology could be completely applied to the game. As for the accidental explosion, it was purely due to his lack of adeptness in handling the operation, something that could be improved upon later. Primordial Altar. Qi Sheng immediately switched his view to the area where the explosion occurred upon receiving the feedback from the guidance. The explosion was not powerful, merely shattering 3 pieces of bluestone paving on the ground, which only took 0.05 points of sacrificial power to self-repair. However, he was very curious about the cause of the explosion. With confusion, he had the guidance replay the scene witnessed by the avatar. Upon seeing the player Qin Yi studying a level 1 spirit stone, Qi Sheng was puzzled, then zoomed in on the internal view of the spirit stone. Is he rearranging the internal structure of the spirit stone? Boss, I've extrapolated based on the structure he's arranging, and I think he might be trying to create a spiritual bomb. What do you mean? Simply put, by changing the arrangement of energy particles inside the spirit stone, it could transform into a new structure that triggers an instantaneous energy collapse when activated by consciousness. But this is just my speculative deduction, not necessarily the answer. The answer from the guidance piqued Qi Sheng's interest in this player. At the establishment of the Challenger system, what he valued most was not the player's fearlessness in the face of infinite resurrection ability, but the player's creative minds. Such as turning war games into farming games, or creating sly maneuvers using specific loopholes and bugs that even the developers had not thought of. Before crossing over, he was an enthusiastic gamer himself, and had witnessed many ingenious ideas players had in games. To verify the conjecture, he retrieved the memory archive information of this player's copy in Monster World. The conclusion confirmed what the guidance had said. The player wanted to apply the real-world technique of spiritual bombs to the game. This discovery made Qi Sheng look forward to the player's future development even more. Exiting the game pod, Qin Yi realized that the potential of the game, Dark Land, was far more frightening than he had initially thought. Perfectly simulating reality meant that many extremely dangerous real-world experiments could be wholly conducted in the gaming world, and the obtained data would directly advance real-world technology. At his desk, he sent his findings via email to the Sky Dome Technology Research Center. The Sky Dome Technology Research Center is a special institution established by the Human Clan Federation for researching alien race technology, and he was a member, assigned to manage the Earth Cave trading market. While waiting for the resurrection cooldown, Qin began to review the information of alien races that had recently applied to enter the trading market. Half an hour later, an email notification popped up in the lower right corner. Opening the email, Qin was surprised to find it was from the headquarters of the Sky Dome Technology Research Center. From Sky Dome Technology Research Center. Content: Hello, D-level administrator of the Earth Cave trading market. Regarding your suggestion to test dangerous weapons in a virtual environment, the headquarters has received it, and after consulting the higher-ups, here is the reply. 1. The Sky Dome Center has begun preparing to enter the game, Darkland, after its release, attempting to conduct experiments on dangerous weapons within the virtual environment. 2. Darkland, developed by the Moon Eclipse clan, uses a real-name system subscription through the Star Network, and we also do not have the privilege to bypass the subscription and directly enter the game. The regrettable fact is that so far, no one from the headquarters has managed to secure a spot to play the game. 3. The Sky Dome Center has applied to the Human Clan Federation Council to try to obtain a batch of game accesses that bypass the purchase process and are directly obtainable from the Moon Eclipse clan. The Federation Council has not provided any response yet. After reading the email, Qin was speechless. He had not expected that the Sky Dome headquarters, with top-level authority within the Human Clan Federation, could not get game access. The hunger marketing for Darkland is insanely heartless. In this new era where virtual gaming pods are widespread in every household, the Human Clan Federation has a population of 2 billion, but the quota of gaming qualifications distributed by the Moon Eclipse clan to the Human Clan is only 1 million per round, which is just a drop in the bucket. It was at this moment he thought of the benefit officer who sent the pirated links, and a bold idea emerged in his mind. Perhaps I can send the pirated download link to the Sky Dome Center and let them download the pirated version to enter the game. Without hesitation, he immediately sent the link to the headquarters of Sky Dome Center by email. Hours later, 3 deafening explosions occurred on the ancient battlefield outside Imperial Tomb Village, with flesh and blood scattering in all directions. Challenger tips: killing evil spirit creature, Blood Corpse, earn 125 evolution points, receive 24 sacrificial power reward, eagle-headed demon form level +1. Challenger tips: killing evil spirit creature, Blood Corpse. The prompts kept ringing in Qin's mind, and he couldn't help laughing out loud. He hadn't expected that an impromptu idea would actually come true in the game. Spiritual bombs made with level 1 spirit stones only needed 3 to kill a blood corpse of level 10 or more. More importantly, spiritual bombs caused area of effect damage, and with 3 bombs, he killed 8 blood corpses, raising his eagle-headed demon level to 10. One can imagine how powerful bombs made with level 2, or even higher level spirit stones could be. Although making spiritual bombs requires costs, as one needs to purchase spirit stones in the store to make them, the profit created is far greater than the cost. This discovery gave Qin a wild idea. Perhaps he could construct a star-vein school around spiritual bombs. With this idea in mind, Qin immediately turned back to Imperial Tomb Village and entered the test tower. Over the next few hours, Qin tried different life soul combinations to match the use of spiritual bombs. His first choice of life soul was not the eagle-headed demon, but the Sea Stone life soul. The effect of the Sea Stone primordial ability is to continuously and rapidly recover spiritual power, even under normal conditions. Making spiritual bombs requires strong spiritual power to support. The 3 level 1 spiritual bombs he just made had drained his spiritual power, and he couldn't continue making them for a short time. But after embedding the Sea Stone life soul, his spiritual power endurance would be significantly enhanced. For the other life souls, he chose those that increased spiritual power or were related to spiritual recovery, focusing on continuous bombardment. After a simple test of the initial star-vein combination, Qin discovered a major problem. There was no friendly fire exemption mechanism in the game, and the powerful spiritual bombs could easily affect the user. To solve this problem, he came up with 2 viable solutions. 1. Find a life soul that could withstand the impact of the bombs to pair up, increasing his own defensive power. 2. Find a kind of life soul that could be thrown from an ultra-long distance, tossing spiritual bombs beyond a range that could affect himself. After careful consideration, Qin thought that the second solution was more reliable. There were many choices for defensive life souls, but to achieve ultimate defensive power, one would have to combine multiple defensive life souls, such as the Immortal Stance, which is popular in forums, which is centered around the Stone Statue Ghost combined with a series of health regeneration plus increased defensive power life souls. However, there are originally not many star vein slots in the early stages, and the key is to increase the explosive power. Therefore, embedding multiple defensive life souls does not fit with his conceived growth path for spiritual bombs. Element bomb, poison gas bomb, sonic bomb, gravity bomb. By pairing with different life soul characteristics, Qin Yi is becoming more confident about the growth path centered around creating spiritual bombs. However, he couldn't find an answer to how to avoid getting caught in the blast himself in the life soul library of the test tower. When in doubt, ask for guidance. Qin Yi decided to seek a solution from guidance. Facing the inquiry, the surface of the guiding water ball displayed a humanized expression of contemplation, and after repeatedly rubbing its chin with a transformed hand, it spoke. The Life Soul database of the test tower has only recorded a part of the primordial abilities. There are many unknown primordial abilities scattered across Monster World. It is certain that there are spatial transmission type primordial abilities. If you can acquire such an ability, you can definitely achieve transspatial transmission. For example, you can open a spatial channel in front of you and throw the spiritual bomb into it to teleport and accurately explode in a distant location. Hearing Guidance's explanation, Qin Yi instantly became interested. Where can I hunt primordial monsters with space department abilities? I cannot answer this question. The monster world is vast and boundless. The landscape of the world has undergone drastic changes after the sweep of Black Tide. It is entirely unknown where precisely primordial monsters with specific abilities are scattered. If you're lucky, they might be in the Emperor II mountain range, but if not, they could be in the incredibly distant Great North. Hearing this, Qin Yi was dumbfounded. Isn't there a function to locate primordial abilities? Perhaps there will be in the future, provided that you can take back the node domain possessing the ability to locate primordial abilities. So where is the node domain that can locate primordial abilities? Don't know. Qin Yi. At this moment, a prompt sounded in Qin Yi's mind. Challenger tips. A virtual game pod has detected important message information. Do you want to exit and check? Upon receiving the prompt, Qin Yi did not hesitate and exited the game immediately. At this time, a meeting was called at the Sky Dome Research Center due to an email sent by Qin Yi. After reading the email content, the staff member realized that the email came with an address from which a cracked version of Dark Land could be downloaded, and promptly conveyed this message to the Sky Dome higher-ups. However, what surprised the higher-ups was that the download link had permission restrictions, making it impossible to download. They decisively relayed this issue to the Network Security Center, hoping they could bypass the permission to help complete the download. But the feedback they received was that the intelligent brain of the Security Center did not have permission to bypass the restrictions behind the link and could only wait for the download permissions to be activated. The staff member who received the reply then chose to send a message to Qin Yi, hoping he could copy and transfer the downloaded files to the Sky Dome Research and Development Center. However, Qin Yi's response left the Sky Dome Center disappointed again. The downloaded game files were locked by permissions, and could not be sent to the Sky Dome Center through transmission. Eventually, the higher-ups of the Sky Dome Center decided to keep an eye on the link's movement, and wait for the download permissions to be reactivated. Upon receiving this message, the personnel of the Weapon Research Department at the Sky Dome Research and Development Center became completely unsettled. If it could truly reach the 100% virtual reality mentioned in the email, this would simply be the perfect dangerous weapon testing ground. Tonight at 11:50 p.m. Dark Land's official website was about to start a new round of qualification distribution, in which the Human Clan Federation had 1 million eligible slots available for purchase. A group of elderly men with graying hair at the Sky Dome Center Weapon Research Department opened the official website on time, waiting to make a purchase. At 12 a.m., the countdown on the website's page hit 0. The purchase of qualifications ended in less than 1 second. At this moment, inside Office A1 of the weapon laboratory, an old man sat in front of the desk, eyes fixed on the screen. His hair was sparse and disheveled, and he wore a blue uniform, but his eyes shone exceptionally bright. Looking at the failure notification that popped up on the web page, Yang Tianxian couldn't help but regretfully shake his head. The difficulty of snagging a qualification was truly headache-inducing. Before this, he had also thought of leveraging technology, but no script could access the official website information, making it unfeasible. Thinking about the email from Qin Yi, confirming that the game perfectly simulates reality and allows the deployment of various dangerous weapons for experiments, he felt an irresistible itch. A completely safe testing zone, this was literally their weapon research department's dream sanctuary. Nanoviruses, weather weapons, celestial armories. The vast amount of advanced technology provided by the alien race posed certain risks in development testing, making it impossible to even start the experiments. Take weather weapons, for instance. Arbitrarily controlling weather changes could potentially bring about a disastrous moment for Earth's ecology. But in the 100% realistic game environment, conceptualized weapons could be tested, and the technology could be employed in reality once fully matured. This eliminates a series of severe environmental damages and personal dangers that might be caused during the immature phase of technology. The problem is that the qualifications for the game in Dark Land are too difficult to snatch. He had already applied several times to the Human Clan Federation, hoping to gain extra game qualification through diplomatic means, but so far there has been no response. After failing another purchase attempt, Yang Tianxian felt helpless. At this moment, he suddenly thought of the email address that Qin Yi had sent. He immediately opened his virtual desktop's mailbox and clicked on the link attached to the email. The web page that popped up was incredibly plain, almost a completely blank page, except for a downloadable zip file in the center. As Yang Tianxian clicked on the download, Qi Sheng received feedback, showing Star Network IP information at the Weapon Development Department of the Sky Dome Research and Development Center. Using memories from Qin Yi to know the existence of the Weapon Development Department, he decisively opened up additional quotas. Ding! Accompanied by a crisp download alert, Yang Tianxian was stunned. The last time he clicked, the notification indicated that the file did not have download permissions. But this time it opened. Before the attempt, he hadn't held much hope, but he didn't expect to actually download the game. Without a second's hesitation, he decisively opened the group chat software in the bottom right corner. Yang Tianxian, Director of Weapon Development Department at Everyone, informed everyone to immediately click on the link sent by Qin Yi and download the game. After tagging everyone 3 times, Yang Tianxian couldn't help but burst into laughter. The disappointment brought by the failed purchase attempt vanished. As for whether the downloaded game files were playable, he was not at all worried. Information from the security center explained that this pirated link might have been leaked from the Moon Eclipse clan and can connect with the Star Network for an online gaming experience. Watching the loading progress bar, a bold idea was born in Yang Tianxuan's mind. The experimental process consumes a lot of resources, and there are only 2 ways to obtain resources from the game world. One is through spending money, recharging and buying resources from other players for research and development consumption. The other is to establish a powerful faction in the game to control some resource production. The first method requires applying for game funds from higher-ups, a cumbersome process that needs detailed explanation. But there were no such worries with the second method. Thinking of the group of super geniuses in various weapon development fields under him, Yang Tianxian suddenly thought of building a strong faction in the game. How other players played the game he didn't know. But since it was a game that perfectly simulated reality, he and the members of the Weapon Development Department could start from scratch and build a techno-weapon army to compete with other players for resources in the game. Actual combat could also test the power of the new weapons. 1 hour later, bursts of white light flashed repeatedly, and 52 figures logged into the resurrection point of the Imperial Tomb Village. As soon as they entered the game, Yang Tianxian and the members of the Weapon Development Department were stunned by the scene before them, unable to believe this was actually a game world. Driven by their profession, they immediately commenced testing the world's realism. Gravity perception test, throwing stones to observe parabolic trajectories, olfactory tests, body coordination tests. Amidst the dumbfounded stares of other players, they were completely convinced by the realism of this game. Boss, the technology of the Moon Eclipse clan has made a leaps and bounds improvement. They can actually create such a realistic game world, exclaimed the white-haired elder standing next to Yang Tianxian. Hearing this, Yang Tianxian did not respond. His heart shock was beyond description. He had long harbored the idea of testing weapon performance in a virtual scene. He had conducted weapon tests in the Moon Eclipse clan's virtual game, Land of Sin, released 5 years ago. But the results were unsatisfactory, and he eventually gave up. In fact, creating a game that perfectly replicates real physical performance is harder than reaching the sky. He had meticulously analyzed a series of issues that needed overcoming. Not to mention the terrifying server capacity needed for this game. Other standards must reach absolute perfection such as interaction frequency, data processing capacity, and even image rendering quality. Additionally, the virtual world needs to mimic all physical phenomena of the real world, including but not limited to gravity, lighting, materials, and sound, requiring computing power beyond cognition to ensure the accuracy and real-time capability of the physics engine. To achieve perfect realism, every detail in the virtual world must be meticulously simulated, including buildings, vegetation, terrain, and weather changes, adding significant burden to the data processing center. Moreover, massive data generated anywhere in the game must be processed and fed back in a very short time, including player-generated input. For example, when players damage the environment in the game, the information must be collected and the environment modified in real time. Considering various variable issues, creating a completely realistic game was nearly impossible in Yang Tianxuan's vision, as it amounted to creating a brand new world requiring a 1:1 resource consumption. That is to say, creating a perfect simulation of Earth theoretically requires the consumption of an Earth's worth of resources. But everything in front of him was real. The Moon Eclipse clan truly created such a perfect virtual game through some unknown technology. Feeling the immense technological gap between the Human Federation and the Moon Eclipse clan, a fire kindled in Yang Tianquan's heart. With such a realistic virtual environment at their disposal, they could fully exert themselves without worrying about environmental destruction, personal safety, and other troublesome issues. Boss, I've checked the store, and there are no equipment available for our weapon development. We have to start from scratch. However, there are spirit stones for sale in the store. Perhaps we can first make a batch of spiritual ability guns. Yang Tianxian listened and nodded in agreement. To manufacture powerful technological weapons, issues such as forging equipment, processing equipment, and calibration tools needed to be addressed, a cumbersome process from nothing to something. Currently, lacking sufficient resources, they were at a standstill. But spiritual ability guns were different. This was one of the early weapon technologies provided by the Moon Eclipse clan to humanity. Weapons could be forged by altering the energy pathways of spiritual ore, then embedding spirit stones to drive the bullets, and engraving internal arrays for compressing spiritual energy. Upon pulling the trigger, the gun would automatically draw energy from the spirit stone, compress it into a bullet shape internally, and with a push of internal spiritual energy, shoot it out. Upon contact with the target, the unstable spiritual energy bullet would instantly burst open, causing a ranged explosion damage. For initial development, this technology was obviously more practical. Let's make a batch of spiritual ability guns then, confirmed Yang Tianxian at this moment. Just then, a middle-aged man with a scruffy beard in the team queried. Director, the problem is that all items in the store require sacrificial power to purchase, and I can't find any recharge function in the game's control panel. Where do we get the starting funds to buy materials and make spiritual ability guns? Yang Tianxian. Faced with the issue of no startup funds, Yang Tianxian fell into deep thought. Have you contacted Qingyi? He entered the game before us. Ask him how much sacrificial power he can lend us. I just added him as a friend. I'll ask now, said a middle-aged man in his early 30s from the team, who then accessed his friend list trying to connect with Qingyi. Soon after, the middle-aged man looked towards Yang Tianxian with slight embarrassment. He only has 239 points of sacrificial power, not nearly enough for us to use as startup capital. Then let's start buying sacrificial power from other players. The costs will be pooled by us for now. We won't submit a request for funds. With this idea in mind, they immediately started acting, and several messages to buy sacrificial power appeared in the regional channel, with a buying rate of 120. However, these few messages were quickly overwhelmed by other players' messages, which included a few taunts joking about their unrealistic pricing, comparing their offer to robbery. This made Yang Tianxian and the members of the Weapon Development Department realize that their purchase price was too low. They chose to gradually increase the price. From 20:1, climbing slowly to 100:1, but still, no player was willing to sell their sacrificial power to them. This left Yang Tianxian completely baffled. Feeling something was wrong, he immediately contacted Qingyi, who had entered the game earlier. The response he received was surprising. The price of sacrificial power in the game had already risen from 50:1 to 150:1, and few players were willing to sell their sacrificial power. There were mainly two reasons. Firstly, the consumption rate of sacrificial power far exceeded its production rate, and players did not have enough sacrificial power to enhance their own strength, let alone sell it. Secondly, the price of sacrificial power was consistently rising, leading most players to believe that the price would continue to climb. Many hardworking players thought it better to use their sacrificial power to boost their strength early on, and after becoming stronger, earn even more sacrificial power. Selling sacrificial power early on might cause one's power to lag behind other players, leading to diminished returns in the later stages. Learning the reasons from Qingyi, Yang Tianxian fell into contemplation. Continuing to raise the purchase price would strain their salaries, and the process for applying for funds was too cumbersome and time-consuming. Without a recharge option and unable to purchase sacrificial power at a reasonable price, Yang Tianxian, at a loss for solutions, had to voice call Qingyi again. Xiaoyi, is there any quick way to earn sacrificial power? There are 3 ways to earn sacrificial power at this stage, replied Qingyi. The first is to leave the Imperial Tomb Village and hunt various types of monsters outside. The second is to be lucky enough during world exploration to encounter mineable spirit plants. Compared to the first 2, I recommend the third way. What way? Yang Tianxian immediately asked. Go to the dark cave to mine. Imperial Tomb Village, Primordial Altar. Standing in front of the crystal wall, Qi Sheng's gaze swept over the contained primordial monsters. Just this morning, a new member was added to the containment wall. Currently, in containment cells 1 to 12, there are the following monsters held: Stone Statue Ghost, Petrification, Eagle-Headed Demon, Resentful Chant, Black Armored Snake, Fierce Poison, Bone Fire, Ink Flame, Power Barbarian, Shattering Sweep, Soul Separation, Nether Ghost, Taunt, Dusk Shadow, Shadow Transformation, and Light Shield. Most of these primordial monsters are named after their abilities. The creature contained in the 12th cell, Light Shield, resembling a cloud, has a hunting level of 3, and was a surprise acquisition by a solo player exploring the blood-colored plane. The ability trait of Light Shield allows it to construct a freely adjustable energy shield using spiritual power, resisting various types of attacks. After Light Shield Life Soul was contained, it attracted a large number of players for evaluation, and the player forum considered it another suitable choice for the long-range Star Vein school. The combination of Eagle-Headed Demon plus Bone Fire provides strong long-range strikes and sustained damage capabilities, but lacks survival tactics, as neither the Eagle-Headed Demon nor Bone Fire are defensive or melee-type Life Souls, showing a significant disparity compared to Life Souls, like Black Armored Snake or Stone Statue Ghost at the same level. The appearance of Light Shield made players, who initially chose the Eagle-Headed Demon, very happy, believing that Light Shield Life Soul could compensate for their lack of defense. However, compared to these, Qi Sheng was most concerned about the sacrificial power gain. Among the 12 contained primordial monsters, 11 are first-generation origin, each providing 10 points of sacrificial power per hour, generating 2,640 points of sacrificial power daily. Taunt, being a second-generation primordial, generates 50 points of sacrificial power per hour, 1,200 points daily. The daily stable sacrificial power income is 3,840 points. From the player's side, excluding the 10-point blood and flesh reshaping cost due to player death, each player averages 3 points of sacrificial power daily. Store commissions, offerings commissions, hunting commissions, contributing over 30,000 sacrificial power income daily. These incomes together can allocate 30 recruitment slots every day. As player's strength enhances, bringing more sacrificial power income, his recruitment of players will accelerate, forming a positive development cycle. After tallying the incomes, Qi Sheng decided to update the challenger system. From analyzing player interactions in the game, he deduced 4 settings that needed modification or addition. Guidance, get to work. The guiding water ball floating next to him, upon hearing this, conjured an arm and saluted him sternly. Angle received, getting right to work. As the words fell, a dark vortex appeared in front of the guiding water ball, into which it drifted and disappeared. Minutes later, Challenger tips resounded in the minds of all players. Challenger tips. The game is about to undergo a 1.2 version update with the following content. 1. Added a team experience sharing mode. In team mode, when monsters are killed, all team players share evolution points and sacrificial power rewards proportionally, and the entitlement of hunting benefits is calculated based on the damage dealt to the monsters, with final blows not receiving any rewards. 2. Refinement of chat channels. 1. On top of small team chat channels, regional chat channels, and world chat channels, add smaller regional chat channels, which will be displayed in the chat interface by the place names. 2. Add a keyword filter function within the chat channels. 3. Enhance guild functionality. Upon completion of this update, players can go to the newly constructed Guild Hall in Imperial Tomb Village and pay 100 points of sacrificial power to create a guild, forming player teams. With various guild-oriented gameplay gradually added, guild member chat channel becomes available once the guild is established. 4. Introduce exploration rewards. Players will gain sacrificial power rewards when uncovering fogged areas of the map. 5. Add leaderboard functionality. After the update, players can view the leaderboard through the function panel, classified as follows. 1. Monster level rankings. 2. Player Star Vein level rankings. 3. Player Body Refining level rankings. 4. Star Vein Comprehensive Score rankings, rated based on the combined strength of monster life souls inlaid in star veins. 5. Armed vehicles, not open yet. 6. Guild level rankings, not open yet. This update is an online update, and does not require players to log out and wait. The emergence of the update prompt instantly made the player forum extremely lively. Players began spirited discussions about the update content. Game Working Party. Finally, a team experience sharing mode has been released. The previous setting of getting all rewards upon killing was quite a pitfall. Harsh criticisms always occurred in teams after landing the final blow, and we had to resort to taking turns to resolve it. Shrimp and Pork Heart. The team experience sharing and damage calculation thoroughly prevent the chaos of opportunistic final blows. Our team was even prepared to block the resurrection point, Imperial Tomb Village, to deal with those who sneak attacks. This official update resolved a major hidden issue. Thumbs up. Are you Beaver? Group players are ecstatic. Guild functionality and team experience sharing are exactly what we need. Finally, we can establish guilds. The update was completed within seconds of the prompt appearing. Among them, the debut of the leaderboard functionality made many players' names visible to everyone. Among the 6 leaderboard categories, aside from the last 2 yet to be opened, the rest instantly became the focus of players, especially the number 1 positions on each chart. Li Zheng, the first player to enter the game, tops the monster level rankings with his black armored snake form surpassing all players' monster levels at level 19. Both the Star Vein level rankings and body refining level rankings are dominated by a single player. He is Tai, who first developed the artifact spirit string growth route, with both body refining level and Star Vein level reaching level 5, able to inlay 5 monster life souls and simultaneously inherit all attribute enhancements from these 5 life souls. Finally, the first on the Star Vein comprehensive score leaderboard is Poor. His bone fire form and eagle-headed demon form both reached level 14, making his comprehensive score the highest among all players. As for Tai, although he possesses 5 life souls, the evolution points acquired in human form needed to be shared among each life soul, so the average level of his 5 artifact spirits is only 5, and his comprehensive score is not as high as Poor. An hour after the update ended, many players exploring outside returned to Imperial Tomb Village, gathering 100 points of sacrificial power to establish guilds. Drunken Group Guild, Kindergarten Guild, Doomsday Technology Guild. The debut of the guild mode provided many groups with their own internal communication channels. The team voice channel could only accommodate up to 30 people and required being in the same area to establish, thus unable to perform cross-regional chats. However, the guild voice channel does not limit the number of people or regions. Players inside Imperial Tomb Village could talk to guild members far away, and also eliminated the nuisance of regional chat channels being spammed by advertisements. After this update, player feedback was overwhelmingly positive. Night had fallen, and all was still. The sky during the waning moon seemed covered by a deep, dark red satin. Just then, a black hole suddenly appeared in the sky. An object trailing blue tail flames emerged from the black hole and streaked across the sky, hurtling directly towards the blood-colored plain in the Emperor Tomb mountain range. Boom! With a deafening explosion, the blue fireball slammed into the expansive land of the blood-colored plain, creating a crater over 50 meters in diameter, scattering debris, and scorching the twisted nearby plants to ashes. As the rising steam dissipated, at the bottom of the crater lay a large, square metallic box, its surface slightly warped from the intense impact. At that moment, the metal box vibrated, and a heavy metal door opened, sliding upwards from the bottom. From inside, a human-like boy with pale blue hair roughly 1.65 meters tall emerged, clad in a heavy set of rune armor. His pure white pupil showed no sign of emotional fluctuation, as devoid of life as a puppet. Just then, a mechanical electronic voice sounded from behind Duan Xing in the shuttle. The combat trial has begun, with me as the center within a radius of 35 kilometers as your trial area. You must not leave the trial area during the trial period, or you will be deemed to have failed the trial. Leaping out of the crater, the blue-haired puppet scanned the charred earth nearby and then raised his right hand to twist a metal knob protruding from the left side of his chest, as if winding up a clock. With a succession of crisp, click, sounds, the complex patterns inscribed on the armor lit up from the left chest and spread across the entire body. It was at this moment that the puppet boy turned to look at the waning moon high in the sky, a solemn expression on his face, and a black gem appeared in his right palm. With a fierce clench, he crushed it. The shattered pieces of the black crystal stone turned into black smoke as they touched the air and rose up. Instantly, the evil life of the blood-colored plain, as if they were beasts that smelled blood, converged towards the puppet boy's position. Zing! The puppet boy crouched slightly, with 2 blue light blades springing from his wrists, a hint of killing intent emerging from his pure white pupils. His gaze swept the surroundings. The evil hounds with their fangs resembling hyenas, dark spirits rolling forward like twisted black balls, evil spirits emanating corrupt black fog, and a large number of blood corpses, the number of assaulting evil life continued to grow. Now the puppet boy transformed into a stream of blue light, charging forward, weaving through the crowd of evil spirit, his light blades, like scissors, cutting through the darkness, leaving behind trails of evil spirit split in two, dissipating as black smoke, only black crystal stones fell to the ground. His movement speed increased throughout the fight, like a dancer twirling elegantly amidst the throngs of evil spirit. The chill of the blue blades trailed like the hem of a skirt dancing with the body. At this moment, Players exploring the blood-colored plain area became curious about the movements of the evil life, and they took to the regional channel to inquire. What's happening? Does anyone know what's going on? Why are all the evil spirit running in one direction? I thought I was a goner, but then the evil spirit ran off. I'm lucky to be alive. How delightful. I'm planning to go take a look. Brothers, come to my live stream to watch the scene live, and those who are able to, throw some sacrificial power my way. Faced with the abnormal activity of the evil spirit, players with strong curiosity followed the direction of the evil spirit to explore. Many players seized the opportunity to start live streaming, providing live broadcasts to other players who couldn't make it to the blood-colored plane quickly, hoping to profit from it. As the players approached the Puppet Boys area, the scene before them left them stunned. The blue figure was like a dancer, moving freely among the evil spirit, the dual-wielded blue blades cutting through the evil spirit effortlessly, harvesting nearby evil life in an impeccably graceful manner. But what the players cared about even more were the black crystal stones all over the ground. These were energy barite that only level 10 or higher evil spirit would drop upon being killed, exchangeable for sacrificial power at the altar feature panel. To the players, the black crystal stones on the ground were no different from cash. The price for 1 point of sacrificial power had been driven up to 150 credit points, and it was difficult to acquire large amounts of sacrificial power, only available from solo players in smaller transactions. At this stage, whether they were grinding players or regular players, everyone was more concerned with enhancing their power rather than their profits, leading to a huge gap in sacrificial power needs. Faced with the black crystal stones scattered all over, nearby players did not hesitate to act. They continuously picked up the crystal stones from the ground, throwing them into their personal space bags. Players watching the live stream went crazy at this scene, leaving comments in various live stream chat rooms. Bro, please report your coordinates in the district channel. I'm on my way to the blood-colored plane right now. Ah, I'm still on resurrection cooldown. It hurts more than getting killed watching you pick up loot. You're not allowed to pick up anymore. Did you hear? No more picking up. This live stream is giving me a heart attack. I just wanted to sit back and see what was going on, but then you show me this, and I wish I had wings to fly over and pick up loot with you. The District Voice channel was also blown up by the loot pickup event. Players from all over the Emperor Tomb mountain range started gathering toward the blood-colored plane. The players who arrived first had already gone completely crazy. They followed the blue figure, continuously picking up the black crystal stones left on the ground. The combat automaton boy, who was in the middle of a battle, also noticed the gathering crowd of players behind him. When he saw them picking up the black crystal stones on the ground, a thick intent to kill surfaced in his pure white pupils. At this moment, he stopped moving forward and twisted the clockwork in his chest. The dimly glowing rune armor shone brightly again after the clockwork was tightened. His figure immediately turned into a blue trail of light, changing direction toward the crowd of players, passing by a player so quickly that they couldn't even see the boy's face before the death notification rang in their minds. This time, the combat automaton boy's killing spree targeted the players. After passing by him, a large number of players would turn into black smoke and dissipate, guided back by the power of space to Imperial Tomb Village, where their flesh would be reformed underground. Damn! Why is he starting to kill us now? Should we run? Mother of God, I blinked and my buddy got chopped in half, turned into black smoke. This guy is too fierce. Run for what? Dying only deducts 10 points of sacrificial power, and each of these evil crystals on the ground gives at least 5 points of sacrificial power. Just pick up a couple, and you've made your investment back. Let's pick them up fast. Fill a sack with them. Facing the automaton boy's sudden attacks, the players, far from shrinking back, became even more frenzied. They all wanted to pick up more evil crystals before dying. The automaton boy's information was captured by the players amidst the slaughter. Duan Xing Sky Talisman Clan. Hunting level, level 53. Description: scion of the main line of the Sky Talisman Clan, reputed to be the strongest of the new generation of the Sky Talisman Clan, currently undergoing a trial to join the Reverse Tide Army. Upon receiving the automaton boy's information, the players swiftly shared the translated information in the district chat channels. Both players on site and in other districts were shocked by his hunting level. A hunting level 53 was an unprecedented level of power they had never met in the Emperor Tomb mountain range. Duan Xing, who was in the middle of a slaughter, also noticed something was off. After killing those lives trying to snatch the evil crystals, the robbed crystals would disappear with them as black smoke. The evil crystals were the proof of his successful trial, and seeing them continue to diminish, Duan Xing immediately became anxious. In a flash, he grabbed a player trying to pick up evil crystals by the neck, lifted them up to face him, and with his cold pure white pupils, inquired, "Where are the evil crystals you picked up?" Duan Xing's words were automatically translated into a language the players could understand by the translation system. The player, being choked, far from showing the fear of death in his eyes, continued scanning the glowing black crystal stones on the ground, then raising his head, his face turning red, he said, "Let me pick up one more, and I'll tell you." Duan Xing. Under the threat of death, the other party was still concerned about the evil crystals on the ground, a fact that Duan Xing truly couldn't comprehend. His gaze swept over other figures, who were still picking up evil crystals. He snapped the neck of the player in front of him, transforming into a blue phantom to begin another slaughter. But even in the midst of killing, Duan Xing's confusion remained unsolved. After slaying all these disruptive lives, Duan Xing just couldn't feel happy. These lives would turn into black mist and dissipate after death. The evil crystals used for proof in the trial also vanished without a trace along with their disappearance. Taking a deep breath, pressing his emotions to the bottom of his heart, he turned his expressionless face towards the evil life surging towards him. Click, click, click. The clockwork wound up, emanating a crisp sound of gears biting. The rune armor relit. Duan Xing transformed into a stream of blue light, and once again charged towards the evil tide. While Duan Xing was fighting, the local voice channel was extremely lively. Players were discussing this warrior named Duan Xing, as well as the evil crystals scattered all over the ground. Although nearby players were killed and exited the game, many more envious players were on their way here. The evil crystals scattered on the ground were full of temptation in the eyes of the players. In comparison, the loss of 10 points of sacrificial power from death seemed trivial. Half an hour later, players arrived one after another. When Duan Xing noticed it, the newly arrived players had already started a frenzy collection mode, searching for evil crystals all over the ground. This caused Duan Xing, always expressionless, to twitch at the corner of his mouth. He decisively turned around and pounced towards the players. After he had killed the latest arrival of dozens of players, he noticed that the number of evil crystals on the ground had significantly decreased. His fair skin blushed. Anger seemed to surge from his eyes. As the most outstanding reserve soldier of the Reverse Tide Army, this killing trial was his last step to prove himself. Once the trial was completed, he would ascend to become a member of the Reverse Tide Army. He would never allow himself to fail. After turning his father's energy core to charge the rune armor, Duan Xing turned to face the evil spirit attacking him and launched a charge once more. In a state of battle, Duan Xing's steps were light, like a ghost moving through the evil spirit's encirclement. Amid the dance of dual blades, the sharp sound of wind breaking followed closely. At that moment, an evil life, 5 meters tall, appeared in front, wreathed in black mist with a fierce visage, its swollen lower limb supporting its rotting body. Duan Xing did not pause for even a second. His form crossed paths with it, and instantly an X-shaped light wound appeared in the huge evil life's chest. Its body split into 4, yet the splattered black mucus did not touch his body at all. In a killing frenzy, Duan Xing personified death himself, gliding with ease among the evil spirit horde, the blades in his hands as if alive, sometimes transforming into sharp swords to cut, other times into spinning storms to tear, every swing accompanied by the death of several evil spirits. During his ecstatic slaughter, Duan Xing roared skywards, his blue hair dancing with the wind. But when the corner of his eye caught a group of sneaky lives appearing again, his smile abruptly ceased. "You deserve to die." As a reserve soldier of the Reverse Tide Army, he was not given any storage items. All he could do was to kill enough evil spirits and then use the coordinate star stone placed in the shuttle to summon the trial inspector from the Reverse Tide Army for verification, proving the end of the trial. But these creatures whom he had never seen before had become the biggest obstacle to completing his trial. Watching the sneaky, mysterious creatures in the distance, who occasionally glanced in his direction with a sleazy demeanor, made the rage in Duan Xing's heart surge. Death. He decisively turned his target, pounced toward the group of players happily picking up money. Seeing Duan Xing pounce, the local chat channel instantly exploded. "Brothers, pick up quickly, the God of Wealth is coming with 2 big choppers. This God of Wealth is really petty, just for picking up a few evil crystals, why get angry? Fella next door, for the sake of picking up evil crystals, you've lost all dignity, crawling around on the ground, aren't you ashamed? Stand up, let me pick them." Just then, Duan Xing arrived. But what puzzled Duan Xing was that even though he was right there, the eyes of these mysterious creatures were still focused on the evil crystals, as if they didn't care at all that they were about to be killed. Watching the evil crystals diminishing one after another, Duan Xing's killing speed suddenly increased. In just a few breaths, he had defeated the group of players, turning them into black smoke that dissipated. But when he looked up into the distance, he saw throngs of mysterious creatures attacking from that direction. This time, Duan Xing chose not to continue the massacre of evil spirits. Instead, he turned to face the attacking group of players. Accompanied by the sound of gears meshing, the rune armor burst forth with dazzling light. and he turned into a blue streak of light that shot forth. In an instant, more than 100 players were slaughtered. "There! The god of wealth is right there!" The cries from the distance made Duan Xing, who was preparing to continue his killing spree on the evil spirits, look up, only to see a large number of players attacking from all directions. This scene made Duan Xing's scalp tingle. To him, these mysterious creatures were far more troublesome than the evil spirits. Although they had frail bodies, the evil crystals mysteriously vanished wherever they went, making it impossible for him to complete his trial task due to their interference. Kill! Taking a deep breath to adjust his emotional fluctuations, Duan Xing once again marched towards the attacking players. But after continuously slaying dozens of waves of incoming player groups, Duan Xing became completely numb. The attacking mysterious creatures were not only not decreasing but continuously increasing in number, to the point that they outnumbered the incoming evil spirits. The more he killed, the more appeared. There was no end to them. Most importantly, these mysterious creatures didn't all attack at once, but came wave after wave. This made it impossible for him to wipe them out in one fell swoop. He could only keep an eye on the movements of the mysterious creature group while slaughtering the evil spirits. After repelling 87 waves of players, Duan Xing's mentality completely exploded. He looked into the distance at the players rushing towards him, his eyes filled with intense despair, and then leapt up, turning into a streak of light flying towards the direction of the ancient battlefield. Half an hour later, at the ancient battlefield north, Duan Xing, who had rested and recovered his physical strength, took out a lure crystal and crushed it. With black smoke rising, nearby evil lives were lured and converged towards his location. A new round of killing spree began. Just as Duan Xing was immersed in the thrill of slaughter, he suddenly heard a familiar voice, then swiftly turned his head towards the source of the sound. What he saw were dozens of familiar figures, among which the leading figure excitedly pointed towards him from afar. "Look, the god of wealth is right there! Brothers, charge with me!" "Ha ha ha! Finally found it. Zongzi, send the coordinates to the guild chat channel. Call the brothers over." SS, I can already smell the fragrance of the evil crystals dispersing, each one starting at 750 cash, the scent of money all over the ground. Seeing this, a look of despair flashed across Duan Xing's eyes. The Reverse Tide Army's trial was a random trans-spatial dispatch to the waning moon waxing moon scenario. He once firmly believed that even if he was dispatched to the waxing moon scenario, with the strength of the strongest reserve soldier, he would have the power to fight, and was certain to complete the trial task, continuing as the strongest new recruit of the Reverse Tide Army. But the appearance of these mysterious creatures completely disrupted his trial action of slaughtering evil spirits. Choosing to retreat proactively was already a humiliation in his eyes, but he endured it for the sake of completing the trial, only to find that these mysterious creatures were even more aggressive and attacked once again. His fist slowly clenched, and a hint of blood-red light surfaced in Duan Xing's pure white pupils. "They've really gone too far. Which kind soul can report a location? Last time I picked up 3 and got killed. I really can't let it go. 1 sacrificial power for God of Wealth's location. Provide coordinates before transferring money. My integrity is guaranteed. I will absolutely not cheat. God of Wealth is too fierce. The lucky players have already earned thousands of sacrificial powers these past few days. Yesterday I saw a live stream where someone opened their 2nd star vein slot by picking up evil crystals. My jealousy sickness acted up, kneeling to ask for God of Wealth's coordinates. I also want to prosper." Player communication swiftly passed through Qi Sheng's mind. Since Duan Xing appeared, the regional chat channels and forums have become especially lively. All players are discussing the whereabouts of Duan Xing, who has also been given the nickname God of Wealth, because many players have gotten rich by picking up evil crystals. Compared to the hard-earned sacrificial power from fighting monsters, obviously picking up evil crystals is easier and the income is more substantial. Especially after one player showed off his earnings from collecting evil crystals on the forum and live-streamed the opening of his 2nd pulse groove. The enthusiasm for collecting evil crystals was thoroughly ignited. During this time, some players organized the Wealth-Seeking Alliance, scouring the hills and plains for traces of Duan Xing, hoping to strike it rich by following him. Whenever they find traces of Duan Xing, they report the coordinates in the regional channels, and then a large number of players swarm in following the map guidance. This group of players believes that sharing coordinates maximizes the benefits. Going alone almost certainly results in being killed instantly. Only by participating as a group can they seize the opportunity to collect evil crystals amidst the chaos. And discovering Duan Xing's traces is not difficult. Before every slaughter event Duan Xing initiates, he lights a type of smoke that attracts evil spirits, which can be seen rising far away, causing nearby evil spirits to stir. The only dissatisfaction among players is the extremely cruel methods God of Wealth employs when they arrive. He doesn't give them any chance for interaction. But the players don't care about interacting with God of Wealth. They only care if they can get a share of the wealth he creates. Some players are also curious about God of Wealth's behavior. They don't understand what God of Wealth is really doing, or why he keeps changing locations to slaughter evil spirits. No player has been able to answer this question. During this time, a refreshed forum post made Chi Sheng cry and laugh. Did you all notice that God of Wealth's expressions have become quite severe? Poster, only pain can make you stronger. Content, these past few days following everyone tracking God of Wealth's traces, I've made a small fortune too, but that's not the point. The point is that God of Wealth's mentality seems to have gone through some unknown changes. I've captured the changes in the expressions of God of Wealth since he first appeared in various live streams. You all take a look. God of Wealth Expression Collection. Each expression in this post is marked with a specific time. The first expression was captured when Duan Xing first interacted with players. At that time, Duan Xing had an expressionless face, a stern look, and you could see confidence and pride in his eyebrows. The second expression was after multiple interactions with players. When looking at players, his eyebrows were slightly furrowed, and a hint of red could be seen in his eyes, showing extreme impatience. The third expression was after Duan Xing changed the hunting evil spirits location and saw the players again. The expression looking at the players completely collapsed, with the red light in his eyes seeming to overflow, the killing intent through the picture assaulting viewers. The fourth and fifth expression images were after Duan Xing changed locations again and encountered players while slaughtering evil spirits. Duan Xing briefly appeared shocked when he turned his head and saw the players' figures, then was covered by a red fog. The sixth picture, Duan Xing looking at the suddenly appearing players after changing locations again, his gaze complex, with anger, unwillingness, regret, annoyance, and mixed with some despair. This picture is also rated by players as an Oscar-worthy performance by God of Wealth, one photo showing complex emotional changes. The seventh card. From indifference to despair, the player's perception of the God of Wealth had nearly reached a state of collapse. His flowing long hair, elegant from consecutive battles, had become disheveled, his pure white eyes had turned completely red, and the radiance from his rune armor had dimmed. The contrast between the first and the 10th picture exemplifies the significant change. The comments below the post by players are quite interesting. Beaver, the God of Wealth seems unhappy. Is it because he isn't enjoying the killings enough? Dark Lands is really fun. Could the God of Wealth be a special game mechanism, where hunting evil spirits acts like throwing red packets, and finding the God of Wealth results in a substantial red packet reward? Has the official maybe added a little difficulty, where the God of Wealth will kill players coming to pick up red packets to increase the fun? Human Race Ascension replying to Dark Lands is really fun. Don't say it. Really don't say it. This could very well be a mechanism in the game. Iron Rust Enchantment. The God of Wealth and evil spirits seem to have an irreconcilable hatred. He looks extremely tired yet keeps moving places to kill evil spirits. I am curious about his backstory. Too bad the game relies on us to figure things out. We cannot see the character's backstory. Feng Shui turns. Brothers, the God of Wealth is currently on the blood-colored plane. Coordinates, hurry up. Blood-colored plane, Southern District. The moon, blood red, dyed the horizon crimson but failed to dispel the gloom on the land, where the rich green plains were replaced by desolation and horror. Every inch of land soaked in blood and bones. This is the place. Didn't they say the God of Wealth was here? Where is he? Two players crossed the thorn-filled area to the coordinates broadcast by the district channel. Disappointedly, there was no sign of the God of Wealth around, not even an evil life. It's over. We must have been tricked by some bastard spreading false news, the leading player grimly said. Bro, what do we do now? The 18-year-old youth standing beside him asked. What else can we do? Let's go back. Just then, the lead man spotted a large pit not far away. Driven by curiosity, he approached the pit, pulled away the thorns covering its entrance, and they gasped at the sight before them. Inside the pit, there lay a pile of evil crystals, seemingly numbering in the hundreds. Damn, we're rich! An hour later, a blue streak of light fell from the sky, arriving in front of the pit. It swept the thorns covering the pit to one side. But just as he was about to toss the evil crystals in his hands into the pit, his expression suddenly turned blank. Where are the evil crystals? My evil crystals! Roar! Duan Xing roared to the sky, his messy hair dancing in the wind, his facial expression nearly bursting, his pure white eyes once again filled with red light. But the endless rage was soon overtaken by a wave of despair. The trial had been going on for 5 days now, yet there was no progress with the task, and if it continued this way, his trial ranking would only decline further. He slumped next to the pit, his gaze gradually growing vacant. Before the trial began, he had considered the various dangers he might face, but he had never imagined he would find himself unable to proceed in the waning moon scenario. I can't accept this. With a blank gaze, Duan Xing dumbly stared at the now empty pit, murmuring. Emperor 2 Mountain Range, Northern Region. A seemingly bottomless ravine splits the earth in two like a natural moat, with sticky web-like substances crawling over the nearby land. A pitch-black tower rises straight from the chasm, piercing the sky. Atop the spire hovers a large, dark red eye, occasionally flickering with a dim light, surveilling the movement of the grass and wind in the vicinity. On the tower's platform, a humanoid figure stands with arms crossed over its chest, over 2 meters tall with dark red skin as if burnt repeatedly by flames. Its eyes, deeply set within their sockets, are like burning coals, filled with malice and an aura of destruction. It's the energy of the Reverse Tide Army soldier. Just then, a crack opens atop the eye of insight hovering above its head, and a hoarse voice emits from within. What's the origin of the Reverse Tide Army? The humanoid evil spirit warrior inquires indifferently. According to the information shared by other nodes, this is a powerful legion formed by warriors who have forsaken their faith. Their leader is known as Reverse Tide, one of the biggest obstacles to our race's dominance of this world. Forsaken their faith? To the query, the dark red eye immediately explains. You've just arrived from the dungeon world and are not yet familiar with the background of this world. According to information shared by other nodes, this world once had a mighty deity known as Emperor Zhao, who was the true god worshipped by all life here. After his unknown demise, the Reverse Tide Army was established thousands of years later, initially to oppose us. The soldiers of the Reverse Tide Army believe that Emperor Zhao abandoned them and chose to forsake their faith to honor Reverse Tide instead. Trivial faith. A trace of disdain appears in the eyes of the evil spirit warrior. Do not underestimate the soldiers of the Reverse Tide Army. Our soldiers across other nodes have clashed with them multiple times and have not gained much advantage. Also, the strength of life on this world is not comparable to the dungeon world you previously helped conquer. Set aside your contempt. The dark red eye solemnly warns. Ignoring the advice of the evil eye, the evil spirit warrior's gaze shifts towards the direction of the blood-colored plain in the Emperor 2 Mountain Range. A black viscous liquid emerges from its body, wrapping around and solidifying into a fierce armor, with sharp black spikes at every joint. I'll give it a try. As the words fall, the evil spirit warrior transforms into a streak of black light that tears across the sky, speeding directly towards the blood-colored plain. Blood-colored plain, Northern Region. Duan Xing looks emotionlessly at players lurking and waiting for his slaughter, unable to muster the urge to charge forth and kill. Up to this point, he has lost count of how many he's killed. There seems to be no end. Sitting idly on the ground, he begins to ponder one thing: whether he should give up the trial and leave this place. His pride and sense of defeat clash within his mind, and Duan Xing can't help but let out a despondent sigh. He wants to persist but doesn't know how to continue. These mysterious creatures even dig 3 feet into the ground in places he's been, making it impossible to gather enough evil crystals to complete the trial. Although his rune armor has a data recording function that can prove he has killed a large number of evil spirits, enough to complete the trial task. The inspector never uses the combat records as a reference, only judging the completion of the assessment by the number of collected evil crystals. Encountering the frustration of losing evil crystals is also considered part of the assessment. While Duan Xing is deep in thought, he suddenly feels a strong surge in energy, and quickly lifts his head towards the northwest sky. A black light streak, carrying a thick aura of death, is speeding towards him. An evil spirit? Realizing that the one attacking is an intelligent evil spirit warrior, Duan Xing's expression becomes extremely grave. He abruptly stands up and presses his hand against his left chest. Click, click, click. The sounds of gears meshing echo, and the runes on his battle armor suddenly light up, and a surge of energy ripples outward from him. His disheveled blue hair dances in the wind stirred by the energy, and 2 sharp blades rapidly form and extend from the back of his hands. Boom! The evil spirit warrior lands in front of Duan Xing, scattering stones and dust in all directions. As the dust settles, the evil spirit warrior with its ferocious appearance and its mad eyes looks straight at Duan Xing. Xing! At that moment, Duan Xing's 2 energy battle blades finish materializing. Without any words, both figures move and vanish from their spots, colliding at the center. After crossing paths, they separate. The evil spirit warrior looks down at the blade marks on its chest, a trace of surprise in its eyes. It suddenly sidesteps, narrowly avoiding another slash, then twists its body and delivers a side kick, sending the approaching Duan Xing flying away before quickly following up. Boom! Duan Xing's blade clashes with the evil spirit warrior's arm guard, sending sparks flying. As a dense aura of death envelopes him, Duan Xing finds it hard to breathe. Kill! Facing the frenzied offense of the evil spirit warrior, Duan Xing's fighting spirit within his eyes blazed wildly. This was not his first encounter with an evil spirit, but the one before him differed from those he had previously battled. Its combat skills and self-healing ability were several times stronger. The wounds his blades left on the evil spirit's body quickly healed, whereas his own injuries mounted with increasing number. Under the continuous collisions, the light bursting forth from the rune armor dimmed, and after over 10 minutes of high-frequency impacts, Duan Xing gradually weakened. Boom! Just then, the heavy fist of the evil spirit warrior punctured the defensive gap spun by the twin blades, striking hard against Duan Xing's chest. His body was flung backward, coughing up a mouthful of fresh blood as he landed and rolled with the momentum, only stopping after kicking up a wave of dust. As Duan Xing gritted his teeth, preparing to fight again, a pitch-black figure pierced through the rising dust and lunged towards him with a knee aimed at the ground, crashing harshly onto his chest. Two black spikes pierced through his rune armor's defenses and into his chest. Boom! Duan Xing's body plunged into the soil, and the reddish glow dissipating from his eyes briefly reverted to pure white. Amidst Duan Xing's fleeting consciousness, the rune armor appeared activated by some force, as the energy spring at its left chest wound itself automatically. Instantly, a surge of energy erupted from the armor, blasting the snickering evil spirit warrior away, while the overflowing energy encircled Duan Xing, rapidly healing his wounds. Duan Xing stood up once more, his momentum climbing steadily. Feeling the newfound power, a hint of surprise emerged in Duan Xing's eyes. "Father!" As the evil spirit warrior attacked anew, Duan Xing resolutely met it head-on, calling forth his blades to clash against the evil spirit warrior's fists. Bang! With each collision, ripples of energy spread outwards from the epicenter of where their hands met. Duan Xing, having recovered from his injuries, saw an obvious rise in strength, but he still remained at a disadvantage in combat skills and power when facing the evil spirit warrior. An hour of fierce combat later, Duan Xing was drenched in blood, his body riddled with gaping wound, swaying as if he could topple at any moment. Yet his gaze towards the evil spirit warrior was still filled with boundless fighting spirit. In contrast, the situation of the evil spirit warrior was similarly bleak. The rapid healing black rune armor was now covered in cracks, its left arm broken and dangling uselessly at the shoulder, incapable of further healing. Boom! Exhausted and unable to sustain the battle, Duan Xing fell to the ground at that moment. Witnessing the scene, a savage smile formed on the evil spirit warrior's lips as it conjured a black spike in its hand, slowly approaching the fallen Duan Xing. Just as the spike in hand was about to pierce Duan Xing's face, a voice suddenly rang out. "Taunt!" Following the shout, the evil spirit's memories spontaneously assembled and wove together. Intense hatred surged from within, redirecting the black spike aimed at Duan Xing uncontrollably towards the source of the voice. However, the inexplicable hatred that emerged lasted less than a second before it was overcome by the evil spirit warrior's will. With an astonished expression, a corpulent figure was sliced by the spike in its hand, turning into a black mist that dissipated. "Rule power?" Just as the evil spirit was about to turn back and deal with Duan Xing, another voice came from behind. "Hey, look over here!" Hatred once again overwhelmed it. The evil spirit involuntarily spun around, hurling the spike filled with infinite malice behind it. The target was killed with a single strike, but a new wave of hatred arose from the depths, compelling it to instinctively turn its head towards another figure not far off. Meanwhile, the regional voice channels and player forum erupted into chaos. "Brothers, we need backup. God of Wealth's about to bite the dust. Come quick to the rescue. We can't hold out much longer. Calling all brothers to urgently come to the aid of God of Wealth at these coordinates if he's gone, who will hand out red packets to you in the future. Holy shit, is God of Wealth really going down? Over my dead body, I still need God of Wealth to unlock my 3rd star vein slot. He absolutely cannot die. Gathering the brothers and rushing over now, hold on there nearby brothers, hang in there. No way, I haven't received a red packet from God of Wealth yet, he definitely can't die, protect him at all costs." The news of God of Wealth's imminent demise exploded among the player community. Over the past week, the fortunes brought by God of Wealth enabled many players to unlock their 2nd star vein slot. In their eyes, God of Wealth was a walking red packet distributor, encountering him meant making some quick cash. Even though plenty of players had not received welfare red packets from God of Wealth, this didn't mean there wouldn't be opportunities in the future if God of Wealth died. The chance to receive red packets would be forever gone. Hearing this news, players rushed towards the given coordinates en masse. Players from all directions swarmed in, increasing in number. They surrounded the evil spirit warrior in circles. While the player possessing the taunt soul took turns controlling the evil spirit warrior, the already befuddled Duan Xing was dragged away from the scene by the player's numerous hands. Under their escort, they made their way far away. The rest of the players continued to surge in waves to attack the evil spirit warrior, preventing it from targeting the God of Wealth again. The analysis panel for the evil spirit warrior was also shared by the players, in the regional voice channel during the battle. Earth Thought Evil Spirit, Commander Level. Hunting Level, 63. Target Analysis. A wise evil spirit born from the Black Tide, possessing strong combat consciousness and combat skills. Despite being weakened, the evil spirit warrior remained unstoppable in the face of the player's siege. It could easily kill groups of players with a casual strike, and the player's onslaught couldn't even penetrate its surface defense. The only advantage the players had was their overwhelming numbers, persistently rushing in to provide support from all sides. Who else has a taunt soul? We might not be able to hold on. This guy can't be defeated by sheer numbers. Brothers with taunt, type 1 in the regional channel. I'll pull you into a team. Take turns using taunt, and buy more time for the God of Wealth. Players with taunt soul were ultimately few, and soon a gap in the taunts appeared. Unexpectedly, the evil spirit warrior did not pursue the direction where the God of Wealth had fled, but turned into a streak of black light soaring into the sky, heading north. With the crisis averted, the players finally breathed a sigh of relief, feeling that the God of Wealth's life had been saved. At this moment, in a corner of the blood-colored plain, Duan Xing remained asleep, his rune armor flickering intermittently as if breathing. Black death she had spread all over him, and his injuries worsened under further corruption. In his moment of mortal danger, Duan Xing saw, in a daze, his deceased father, the man who died for him. Memories from when he was 7 years old flooded in like a tide, filling his childhood with endless pain. In his memory, the black tide seeped into his body through a mark on his left chest, over time permeating and corrupting his heart. During his last encounter with his father, although his consciousness was blurry, he clearly remembered his father smiling and stroking his head. Xing, do you want to have the same great strength as Daddy? I do. With the same great strength as Daddy, I can surely overcome corruption. And one day I can join the Reverse Tide army like you, to become a glory warrior. I hope you can continue to be strong and persevere on the path ahead. Daddy, where are you going? I will not leave. I will always be by your side, witnessing your growth. At that moment, his consciousness fell into slumber. When he awoke, his father was gone, and so was the corrupting energy that had infiltrated his body. The once ailing heart now beat strongly, and when he looked down, he found an energy core connected to his heart in his left chest. At that moment, he understood his father's choice. This was the eternal companionship and growth witness mentioned by his father. The decaying and weakening heart he once had was removed, replaced by his father's robust and strong heart. Through sacrificial lore, Duan Xing learned that the energy core on his left chest was a seal for the powerful heart inside him. His weak body could not handle his father's heart strength, and the energy core was the mechanism controlling the heart's power, capable of unsealing it by twisting. When his father's residual consciousness perfectly interfaced with the heart and energy core for the final time, he flashed across his mind. With every turn of the energy core, your father will be fighting by your side. Memories surged in Duan Xing's mind, his body growing increasingly weaker, and the injuries inflicted by the evil spirit warrior continued to deteriorate. The death chi that seeped into his body caused a rapid decline in his organs, only his heart still roared, hanging on to Duan Xing's last breath of life. As his consciousness was about to be submerged, Duan Xing saw his father standing not far away, smiling, and reaching out his hand to him. Keep close to my steps. Holding his father's hand, Duan Xing walked towards the faint light ahead, and at this moment, the surrounding darkness seemed no longer terrifying. At this time, the players outside the field were incredibly anxious. Through the feedback analysis from the guidance, they found the God of Wealth was in a near-death state, and he could explode and die at any moment. At this moment, many players chose to lend a helping hand. I earned 800 sacrificial power from you. Consider this 50 sacrificial power healing pill as a repayment, said a player with a pained expression, as he stuffed a green pill into Duan Xing's mouth. God of Wealth, you can't die, exclaimed a player, who exchanged for a low-level healing potion worth 10 sacrificial power, and poured it over Duan Xing. I'm a doctor. Let me through. Let me take a look at his injuries. I can't understand them. Better to spend money on medicine anyway. Under the pouring of healing potions, and the indomitable beating of his heart, Duan Xing, who was on the verge of death, was gradually pulled out of the abyss of death. His injuries began to heal at a pace visible to the naked eye. Seeing this scene, the players surrounding Duan Xing cheered triumphantly. Look at the analysis feedback. The near-death suffix on God of Wealth's body has changed to weak. We made it. We made it. Now run. God of Wealth is going to be furious when he wakes up and definitely do us in. Run for it. Run, run. God of Wealth kills without batting an eye. If he sees us here, we're sure to end up in an hour-long timeout. Seeing Duan Xing's injuries gradually healing, the players retreated in succession, not willing to stay any longer. Although they had a favorable impression of Duan Xing, they were more aware that Duan Xing had no such feelings for them. Every encounter with him wielding two big choppers meant death. Soon after the players scattered, Duan Xing slowly woke up from his coma. Opening his eyes, he looked down at the energy core connected to his heart, then swept his gaze around. He couldn't understand why he was here. Where had the evil spirit warrior he was fighting gone? Confused, he tried to activate the battle information storage function embedded in his rune armor, and suddenly, numerous video images flooded into his mind. He saw the scene where the mysterious creatures he detested to the bone risked their lives to save him when he was about to perish, as well as the image of these mysterious creatures pulling him away from the evil spirit warrior and fighting to the death with the evil spirit warrior to buy him time to retreat. The last of the battle information images was that of the mysterious creatures treating his injuries. After watching the video records, Duan Xing's hatred for these mysterious creatures turned into gratitude. He didn't understand why these mysterious creatures did this, but he knew he was alive because of their desperate sacrifice. All the hatred seemed insignificant in front of this kindness. Sitting up, he took out a rune imprint the size of a thumb from his arm guard. The trial failed, it's time to go back. After this battle, his obsession dispersed, and he decided to give up the trial and leave this place. With the mysterious creatures blocking him, he was unable to collect enough evil crystals, and upon encountering them again, he was unwilling to harm these mysterious creatures. I will repay your kindness when I am powerful enough. With those words, Duan Xing flew straight into the sky. An hour later, Duan Xing appeared before the large crater he had made on arrival, ready to embed the rune imprint into the shuttle to call the observer to pick him up. But as he looked down into the pit, he was shocked to discover that the shuttle was gone. His brows slightly furrowed, he tried to activate the locator system on his rune armor, but found that he could no longer sense the specific location of the shuttle. He couldn't even retrieve fragmentary information. His heart rate suddenly accelerated at this moment, his blood pressure soared, and Duan Xing's eyes turned completely red. He thought of a possibility. The ability to make an object completely disappear. Besides those mysterious creatures, who else could it be? Half a day earlier. Player Forum. Brothers, we struck it rich. I found a machine at the bottom of a big pit, sacrificed it at the altar, and got 38,000 sacrificial power points. It's so lucrative, it's almost like winning the lottery. Monster World really is full of opportunities, the guidance never lies.